Om. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamatsyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om, everybody. Last time we saw from verse 12 onwards of the chapter 6. So a quick revision. Bhagavan says that this meditation here, this dhyana, is to be done for Atma Shuddhaye. Atma means mind here, because Atma as the pure consciousness doesn't require any purification. So if we take, this is how the words have to be taken in context. If you say there is purification of the pure self, that doesn't make sense at all. So Atma there refers to the mind. Visheshena Shuddha, so extremely pure, because what you're trying to do in a seat of meditation is to make the mind single-pointed. A single-pointed mind is a pure mind, or conversely, if the mind is very pure, very sattvic, it can be focused at one point immediately. It is not so much aneka. Mind is anekagra. Anekagra, agra is tip. It is multi-directional. Mind runs in multiple directions. You have to make it single-pointed. The more single-pointed you can make it, know that it is more sattvic, know that it is more pure. Or the more sattvic you make your mind, or the more purer you make your mind, it will help you to remain single-pointed in the seat of meditation. Okay, so this is what he said in 12. And then he gave us some instructions regarding the body. So he says the body, neck, head, neck, and body, spine should be kept in one straight line. It facilitates the flow of the spinal fluid, it is said, which helps in concentration. And I have tried it while chanting, and I know it works. If you're slouching in meditation, you should never slouch. You should never recline and do sleeping. I give you all those instructions. This is what he's saying here. So hold it. Achala and sthira, the difference being achala is like a mountain where there is no movement even inside. Within there is no movement. Sthira is like a tree. The tree doesn't move, but there is a movement within. So the leaves are moving, the branches are moving, the roots are moving underground. So there is a movement within the tree, though the tree appears to be unmoving. So it is not a repetition. Shruti Bhagavan is not repeating his words. Achala and sthira, that is what you have to understand. And then fixing your gaze on the tip. Please do not make yourself cross-eyed. Close your eyes, and this chakra here, and I forget the name, but this is the chakra where you should focus. It helps even balance. I told you, even in the gym, when we have to do balancing and balance on one leg, with open eyes, it's easier because you can focus. There's a point, external point where you can focus. But when you're told to close your eyes and stand on one leg, it's 10 times more difficult. And this is what helps the most, is to focus here. Same idea in meditation. You're just trying to focus the mind on one spot. That is what it means. And then how do you do it? Prashantatma, very, very peaceful, more sattvic, more purer the mind, the more you will be at peace. Vigatabihi, obviously, if there is fear in your mind, that's why already the instruction was given that your place should not be too high or too low. If you're going to sit on the edge of a cliff and meditate, of course there'll be fear. Good Lord, I might doze off and fall off the cliff. So those type of places should not be chosen if you're going outside, but in the house, a safe place. Brahmacharya, I told you, Brahmacharya is a not just abstinence from sex, it is abstinence from any indulgence with regards to all the sense organs. So there shouldn't be an excess of anything. I like this movie, so I'll watch it 10 times. I hear this music, so I constantly hear the music. That sort of excess should not be there. And such a controlled mind then, mat chitta, put it in me, and asit mat par, sit, putting the mind in me, and considering me to be the supreme. I told you, we are working, but the company is not supreme for us. The family is supreme for us. So usually what we work towards and what is supreme for us, what is important for us, are two different things. Here what Bhagavan is saying, I am only the supreme and I only should be your ultimate goal. And when he says I, it is not the form of Krishna, he is referring to himself as the supreme consciousness. Okay, so mat chitta yukta asita mat paraha. So that mind should be made single pointed, concentrated on him. Vedantic language, if it was, I would say Brahman. Bhakti language, Bhakti Shastra, it was, I would say Ishta Devata. So it can be Vishnu, it can be Shiva, it can be Mata Rani, it can be Hanumanji, Ram, whatever Krishna, whatever deity you take, that's Bhakti. Vedanta, Brahman alone. Okay, here he's talking to Arjun. So he says, you fix it in me, because what he's going to do in the next chapter is going to explain who me is. That is coming. Okay, he's going to explain that. But right now he's saying me, but even then he is not meaning the form of Krishna. He's not meaning my form. Okay, that's how it is. Then Yunjanyam Sadatatman, Yogi Niyata Manasa, Niyata controlled Manasa, mind, controlled mind. See, the mind is running. We think the mind is multidirectional and running in every which way. Actually, there are only three parameters in which the mind runs. It is space, time, and objects. These are the three parameters in which the mind runs. Now, in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, we have heard Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. Those are the three final ones in the Ashtanga Yoga. This dharana is to control the mind with respect to space. So what is dharana is putting the mind at one place. So you take care of the mind running in space, in the parameter of space. Dharana will do that. The next is dhyana. Dhyana is to put the mind in that one place for a long period of time. So now you're taking care of the time. See how the mind runs in space. Okay, let me explain, because you might think, if I'm sitting here and then I think, I went to that restaurant yesterday and it was so nice, and that is how it's space. So you are in one place, but you're thinking of some other place where you felt very comfortable, where you felt happy, where you enjoyed. So this is how in space it is running. Time is, now I can't sit, but there was a time when I could sit cross-legged on the floor for a long time, but now I have to sit on the chair. In time it is running. That is how it runs in time. And an object is, you're thinking of so many other things other than Bhagwan. Bhagwan has said, I'm supreme and you should put your mind in me. But now my mind is running here and there. So that is how it runs in space, time, and objects. Anything where it runs, they will fall under these three parameters only. Okay, so dharana will take care of mind running in space. Dhyana will take care of mind running in time. And then a samadhi, because samadhi is keeping the mind there for a very, very, very long period of time. Okay, and that is then taking care of objects, because it is not going anywhere at all. Samadhi is, now the mind is totally fixed in that object. Vedantic object would be Brahman. Bhakti object would be your Ishta Devata, or with context to the Bhagavad Gita, then it is Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Okay, so that is yours. What happens then? Shantim nirvanam paramam. Nirvana, I told you, vana, nir is without, vana is fire. Fire of ignorance is not there. He will reach a place. He will reach mat sthanim adhigacchati. How is my sthana? How is my position? My position is without the arrows of ignorance, without the arrows of death. It is a deathless place. It is a diseaseless place. It is a place of permanent happiness. It is a place of permanent residence, from which point there is no return. That is nirvana. Moksha. Nirvana is moksha. Okay. So Shantim, peace. There'll be just peace and nothing else. And he will reach my sthana, my abode he will reach. Bhakti Shastra will tell you he will reach the abode of, if he's a Vishnu Bhakta, he'll reach Vaikuntha. If he's a Shiva Bhakta, he'll reach Kailash. If he's a Ram Bhakta, he will reach Saket Loka. That is Bhakti Shastra. This chapter is not about Bhakti, okay? I'm just telling you. For those of you who are more Bhakti oriented, don't get confused. It's the same thing. That is how it will be. All right. And now he's giving secondary rules starting with 16. So he says yoga, in here yoga means dhyana yoga is not possible for one who is sleeping too much or is sleeping too less, or he is who eats too much or he eats less. And obvious reasons, if you eat too much and now your stomach is upset or you're feeling heavy in the stomach, it's going to be a distraction in the seat of meditation, because that stomach is going to be calling you. Okay. Or if you're hungry, it's going to growl, and that growling is now going to disturb your attention. Very, very simple. This is even in any other things also. If you have to say, do some important work, either you're going to be lethargic or you're going to be, hungry. You don't have the energy to say run around, you have to do 10 different errands. And now you haven't eaten your breakfast. Now you're feeling hungry. So constantly you're going to say, oh, what should I eat? What should I eat? It's going to be a distraction. Very, very simple. This is. And another thing, this is what I was thinking, even if you're not doing meditation, these rules will help you in your day-to-day life. Automatic. Okay. So he says too much. I told you swapna, in literally we have always used the word swapna for dream, but here it means sleep, because it comes from the root word, verbal root swap. Swap means to sleep. So the word swapna has to be always taken in context of the text. So this text, Bhagavan is saying too much sleeping or not enough sleeping, both will disappoint, because too much sleeping, how do you feel? Like, you feel lazy and this and that. If you don't sleep, if you have not slept well, you are going to fall right away asleep in the seat of meditation. It's just a shoe, because you're relaxing the mind and the body. It's going into sleep. That is the Mudha Bhumi of the mind. It's a tamasic. So to avoid that tamas, you must have a good night's rest. You must have spent the earlier 23.5 hours, say, in a sattvic mode, not in too much indulgence, etc., etc. So we've seen all that. Now we come to this 17th verse, this is where we were. युक्ताहार विहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगी भवतु दुःखः. Yoga becomes the destroyer of pain for him who is moderate in eating and recreation, who is moderate in his exertion during his actions, who is moderate in sleep and wakefulness. Dukkha, ha it comes from, it means killer. Ha is killer. Therefore, one of the names of Vishnu Bhagwan is Krodha, Kamaha. So one who kills the desires, one who kills the anger. So here, one who kills, the killer of dukkha, sorrow, is what? Is this yoga of moderation. And it is called as yoga by Bhagwan because this moderation is what is going to help you join with the higher in the seat of meditation. But that is what I'm telling you, even if you're not. So one can say, oh, I'm not meditating, then I need not follow these rules. But think about it in your own life. Follow these rules and see what a difference it will make. So yukta, there are two words here, ahara and vihara. Ahara, generally we think ahara is only food intake. Ahara is intake. It is not just food intake. So it's intake, and intake is done by the 5 senses. So ahara is ahara for the eyes. Color and form are the ahara for the eyes. Smell is for the nose. Taste is for the tongue. Sound is for this. And touch is for the skin. So ahara is in through all 5 organs of perceptions, we are taking in the sense perceptions. And that Bhagwan is saying should be yukta. Yukta, moderate. Just right. Let's put it that way. Just right. I think last time I told you, first they said drink 8 glasses of water. Now the doctors told me, no, it's not 8. Your body will tell you how much it needs. And if you're in a hot country, if you're traveling in India, if you're in Florida, then even drink more than 8 glasses of water in a day, because it's going to be so hot. So what is yukta will change as things change. If it's too hot, then may as well drink more water. So what is yukta for your body? So with ahara, with Patanjali's, if you follow his yoga sutras, he says the stomach should only be filled half with food, 1/4 water, 1/4 air. It's a surefire way of diet, losing weight. Because if you follow that throughout life, right? Okay, that's one thing. Now, there is certain rules with regard to ahara, and it applies to everything. So food is very easy to explain. I'm going to explain as per food regulations, but even the others we'll see just this thing. So they say never eat food if you're not hungry. Do not eat in between meals. Do not eat because you're bored. I've done that. How many of you have done that? I'm the first. Watching TV, like, what should I eat now? What should I eat now? What should I eat now? I have done it. I'm telling you, I've done it. Now I'm reading all this. Previously, so I'll tell you what helps with that. Prior to my TV watching time, I make a decision, and I usually will eat a fruit. Let me tell you. So it's my prior decision. This is what I'm going to eat while watching TV. And then I eat and I quickly run and I brush my teeth. That has become a discipline now in my life. So I eat only fruit, not chips, and then see this and then see that. Nothing like that. I'm telling you what can help. It helped me. I'm telling you. Okay. So those are some of the tips. And then, yeah, usually that's why, they say eat only half food. So usually when you eat, you should have some room left in your stomach. So you shouldn't eat, oh my God, if I eat another one, I'm going to throw up. It should never be that sort of a position. If suddenly something comes in front of your eyes, you should have some room to eat a little bit of dessert or a little bit of fruit you like or something you like, you should have. So these are the rules as regards food. But even with, say, eyes, watching. Oh, you're watching a cliff hanging serial where they, if you've seen Netflix serials, if they leave the end where it's like it's a real cliffhanger, right? And Netflix, the next episode is available, so now you go on watching. You must be capable of stopping it. This is my bedtime. Even though no matter how much of a cliffhanger it is, I'm not going to watch. That strength, that is an inner strength, that is a mental strength. That has to be there. And that will come with discipline, self-imposed self-discipline. That it is my time to now go to bed. And I've always given you the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you must follow this, and 20% you can let go, because the mind is also extremely strong. As it becomes purer and purer, it becomes very subdued. Let me tell you that also. So what happens is, even if there is things that, no, I have to get up tomorrow and meditate, or I have to get up tomorrow and go to work. I have a project. I have studies to do tomorrow morning. You must be able to stop whatever that you're watching or listening or doing whatever work. You must be able to stop and then move on. Okay. That becomes yukta ahara. Vihara is output. Now, vihara is less, output is through the organs of action, right? Because now you know that there is this serial on TV, and now obviously you're going to turn the TV on. So vihara depends on ahara. So if ahara is controlled, the intake is controlled, there will not be an output. Okay. So even that output, extreme exertion of energy also should not be done. It should be as per the requirements of your body. Recently, a friend of mine, her A1C went up. She's a diabetic. She said, oh, my A1C was higher. So she went for a walk morning, went for a walk in the afternoon. I mean, how can A1C, just because one day, two times you went for a walk, other days you don't. So what happens is her hip flared up, inflamed, because there's arthritis in the hip. She couldn't walk at all the next day. You do excess, over your body, because there are other factors also. It's not just the diabetes. There's arthritis. There's this. There's that. She said, no, my hip has become inflamed. So I'm now icing it, and I'm home. I can't walk because it's hurting. It's paining. So this is why that output also should be as per what my body can handle. If your body can handle it, do it. But generally, it will depend on this ahara. Okay, so yukta here means yukta also comes from the dhatu yuj, to join. So yukta means moderation. That moderation will help you go up. One thing my mother-in-law used to say, which I've never forgotten, and she's been passed for a long time. She said, you may have a knife of gold, okay, but you cannot stick it in your stomach. So what is meant is, no matter how good the thing is, you cannot overdo it. Walking is good for you. Walking is good for your sugar levels. Walking is good for your blood pressure levels. Everybody knows that. Now you just go on walking till there's no end. Something else in the body is going to go wrong. So that part has to be understood. Okay? Yukta cheshta is, if I just play with my hair, purposeless action is cheshta. And we do that too. You're talking on the phone, then we'll go all the zeros, you go, with the pen, right? That is cheshta. Where, see, there is, one is cheshta, one is karma, one is cheshta, kriya, karma, then karma yoga. So this cheshta has absolutely no value. Like, what value is there if you color all the zeros in the book? Or you just keep playing with your hair? Like, so even that cheshta should be like, there should be a limit, no, to cheshta also. This is what he's saying, more recreation. Manu is moderate in exertion in actions. Action also should be with some purpose, na? Purposeful action is action, then purposeful action done with a special type of intellect is karma yoga. That is how the hierarchy is. Otherwise, there is action even in sleep. I talk in sleep. I walk in sleep. Not I means not I, but people walk in sleep. People talk in sleep. People kick their, partner in sleep. That also is action only. It's not a purposeful action. Okay. Cheshta is when you're awake and you're doing. That is not cheshta. That is kriya. Cheshta is you're awake. Your brain is awake, but you're doing silly things, I will say, like this. You're on the phone, oh, somebody is talking, you're bored. So because you're bored of that other person talking, you're going on coloring this thing. So that is what changed. So that also has to be in moderation. Yukta swapna avabodhasya. So swapna in sleep and wakefulness. So same thing where he told before, like if you sleep too much, it should not be too much sleep. You have to recognize what your body needs. Your body generally needs between 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Some people need 6. Gurudev only, I think, 4 hours, I think 12 to 3. So 1, 2, 3, 3 or 4, not 3 to 4 hours he used to sleep, Gurudev. But that is a realized master. Huh? Now, I'm personally, I cannot do with 4 hours sleep. I'll be dead in 2-3 days. I'll be gone. So what my body needs, I should do. I should not do something, somebody else is doing something, then I should do like that. But normally this is 6 to 8, but 9, 10 hours of sleep, then it's becoming a bit too much, but up to you. Or you can take a quick nap in the afternoon. So 6 to 8 is considered yukta. So some people 6 is good enough, 7 is good enough. Some people need 8. And if we follow this, it will be a killer of our sorrows. Think about, leave meditation aside for a minute. Your own life, if you lead like this, okay, there's moderation in everything. In expression of emotions, there is moderation. There is objectivity. There is, the body will remain healthy. Healthy body is a healthy mind. The mind will be at peace that much, right? So killer of sorrow, sorrow will come. Okay, now here, killer of sorrow means, please do not take this literally that no sorrow will come to me, because that sorrow, whatever is coming, is from your past life. Now in this life, you heard this and now you're following this, is one matter. But what will you do to the past? Past is going to come as sorrow, but what will happen is, even what is killer of sorrow means, it will not have as much effect on you. So the sorrow will be the same, but how you react to it will be totally different. That is what is meant by do not take this literally, that no sorrow will come to me. There's no way that can happen. Okay, so the killer of means when you follow, so chances are that your body will remain healthy. So that way, whatever. See, athletes, this is what I was told. Athletes have arthritis in their knees, apparently, but they don't need knee surgery. This is what my personal trainer told me this. And she said, you know why? Because their muscles are so strong that they will support the knee. Now it has become dukkha. Now, people who do not have strong muscles, they get knee problems. They have to go through the knee surgery, which I'm told is very painful. That is what is meant by here dukkha. When you have taken care of yourself. Suppose if you have followed a strict, even in my case, my father was a diabetic. My doctor told me you have 50% chance, because my mom never got diabetes till she died, thank God. So he said you have 50% chance of getting diabetes. Genetics, okay, simple. So he said you control your sugar. Because 50% chances are there. Okay, so I have been watching. I watch, and so far so good, right? Anything can happen at any time in the future. So far so good. So this is how this following this life of moderation will become a dukkha, because your present actions can change your future. Present destiny is being controlled by the past actions. Past actions we have no control over. We do have control over present actions. So do that. If we do that, future, maybe if I don't get diabetes and my husband didn't have, maybe my children will not be told that you have 50% chance of getting diabetes, right? And if they are going to get it, they'll get it. But at least it's not yet. So this is how this thing works. This dukkha works. It's not like all my sorrows will get killed and I will always be happy. No. It doesn't work like that. In this food, if you say ahara, there are certain, there is what is known as ahara shuddhi. And ahara shuddhi has got three aspects to it. One is jati shuddhi. And jati shuddhi means it's a pure sattvic meal. See, our Swamijis, when they come, generally they will the food has to be cooked within 4 hours of eating. Okay, so when we were in Sandipani, we were studying, even for us brahmacharis, it was a very simple meal, but it was fresh in the morning, lunch, and fresh at dinner. They never served us rice from the morning or rotis. Whatever from the morning was not served. Very simple, just one sabzi, one dal, rice, and 4 standard. Chapati and roti and rice was every day, and the sabzi was different, but it was different in the morning, it was different in the evening, and the dal was different and different. So fresh food has that is what is called as jati shuddhi. Having said that, I staying alone, I cannot follow this rule. I'll be very, very honest with you, because, and those who are working, I have food in the freezer, I have food in the fridge. I can't cook like this much, and then this much. I don't have the time, because I'd rather sit and read than cook little every single day. So I do eat stale food. I'll be very honest, no problem there. But I'm telling you, okay, with Swamijis, if they're wherever they're staying, we have to do fish. Next is Nimitta Shuddhi. Nimitta is cause, karana. So instruments here, and instruments, we need vessels to clean, to cook in. Those vessels have to be very clean. Okay, that's obvious. If you vessel is not very clean, then the food is going to get contaminated. So there's nimitta shuddhi. And the third one is ashraya shuddhi. Ashraya is the support. See, the food doesn't cook by itself. The food is cooked by the person. Now that person should be joyful. The person, one thing is that you should not cook food before, like you should cook food after taking shower. That one rule I follow very much, because I take shower early in the morning. So one thing is that the person should be clean, himself or herself. And the other thing is, should be joyful. It shouldn't be, oh, why I have to do this, when the mind is in a negative, why this person is not helping me, and now this I have to do for this one, then that is not good for the food, because those vibrations are there. So happily you do a simple meal for somebody else, but whatever you do it happily. That is certain rules of this food. Okay, so there is Ashraya Shuddhi, Nimitta Shuddhi, and then Jati Shuddhi. Okay, so pure and sattvic meals. Generally, with sattvic meals, see, onion and garlic are not considered sattvic. Onion creates rajas, and garlic creates tamas. Now, having said that, I know people, because garlic is supposed to be reducing cholesterol. I know people who have eaten garlic left, right, and center, and God knows, and reeked of garlic to an extent where people didn't even want to come into their room because they were eating to reduce cholesterol. I mean, that's, for a spiritual seeker, that becomes this thing. But if you're a spiritual seeker, you will know that you cannot change destiny. So you need, see, this. I know this person. I mean, he's passed on too. He wasn't a spiritual seeker. So he was. It was cholesterol went high. Garlic reduces. I will eat garlic morning, evening, afternoon, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, between snack, garlic. This, no need to do that. I do eat garlic and onion. And then I know people who will just add garlic because they like it. They just add things because they like it. If the recipe calls for it, definitely add it. But if the recipe, garlic is good for cholesterol, I've got high cholesterol, so let me put garlic. Don't do those kinds of. For a spiritual seekers, that is not. I told you, personally, I eat garlic, but only there are some recipes they will call. You need that garlic, you need that onion, right? So then definitely, especially in Bombay, if you're eating chaat, of course you need onion. Like, geez, how can you eat street food without onion? Okay, so moderation. Don't go like extreme. But sattvic food is one. Of course, it's totally vegetarian. Sattvic food is which is freshly cooked and which has these so clean vessels. The person is happy. No garlic, no onion. So at least on fast days, don't eat those. So something. All right. Okay. And this is, Bhagwan is saying this will help in meditation. Definitely it will. But even if you're not doing meditation, if you follow this, it will help you. Now, what happens? Yada viniyatam chittam atmanevavatisthate nispraha sarvakamebhyah yukta ityuchate tada. Yada is there and tada is there. Remember, yada and tada. Okay, so when, then. So when, yada, it starts with yada. When the perfectly controlled mind rests in the self only, free from longing for all objects of desires, then it is said that he is united. Yuktaha, I told you, the yukta word comes also from yuj dhatu, which is to join. Now, let's see. Yada, when viniyatam, visheshena niyatam, means extremely controlled mind. Okay, so the mind is not running in space, in time, and in objects. It's not running anywhere. This is now where this person has followed all those instructions and now he's doing his meditation. Chittam Atman, Chittam Atmani Eva Avatishthate. This has to be understood. That is the break of that. There's a samas there. Chittam Atmanne Vavatishthate is Chittam Atmani Eva Avatishthate. Chittam, mind. Okay. Atmani, in the self. Eva, alone. Avatishthate. Tishtati is coming from stha dhatu, to stay. So it stays alone. Only. Eva means only. It is now staying in that self. Now, this part we have to understand. What does it mean it's staying in the self? Is it like some gulab jam that you will put in a katori and now that gulab jam will just stay there? It is not like that. Mind staying in the self means what? Mind originally is the self itself. Okay. So if mind is the self only, then what was the point of mind staying? It is the self only. But do we recognize it? That is the thing. The mind, see, if there is a room and it's unclean, so what will you do to clean the room? Is take the dirt out. Nah? You sweep the floor. The clean floor will show itself. Mind is the substratum itself. What do I mean by substratum? Pure consciousness. And remember that the mind is come from the sattvic aspect of the 5 elements. So the mind is originally, it is sattvic only. Okay, mind originally is the consciousness, it is sattvic, but what has happened is because there is so much of thoughts going up there, we are never looking at that substratum. It is the best example that comes to my mind is the movie theater. You go to a movie, once the movie starts, I have tried this also because I used to give this example, and I'm sitting in the movie and I'm like, I want to think of the screen, I want to think of the white screen, and then I am thinking of it in the first maybe few seconds, and then I get caught up in the movie. So you've forgotten the screen completely until the movie ends, and suddenly, oh, I was supposed to think of the white screen, but I never thought of it because of this movie. And that is exactly what's happening in the mind. The mind is the screen, the mind is the base, the mind is the substratum, the mind is the consciousness, but my attention never goes to it because there are so many thoughts that are going through my mind. And now when those minds are viniyatam chittam, viniyat, visheshena controlled, means that mind is not, there are no thoughts at all. What will happen? That mind, which is originally the self, will make itself visible to you. That is what is meant by our. When we say our, it's a verb. So you're like, oh, let me take the mind and put it. You can't put the mind in the self. That's not. This is not. This should be understood correctly. Avatishtate. It is the self. All you have to do is remove the thoughts. All you do is remove the thoughts. Not very easy. Not very easy. Okay, but that is what it is. And then what happens? You remove the thoughts. What thoughts do we have? That is the next line. See, spraha word is there. Nispraha and sarva kamebhyaha. All our thoughts are what? In the form of desire only. Na? Either we have worry. Okay. So worry is also what? It is a desire that this particular thing should not happen to me. What is worry? Think about it. I'm worried. I may get COVID. I'm worried. So what? It is my desire that I should not get COVID. So I worry that I may get COVID. So ultimately, it boils down to desire. Okay. Then it may not be a worry. It may be a happy thing which I enjoyed. So when will I get to see the movie again? When will I get to go to the party again? When will I get to go eat street food again? Bombay street food. I'm from Bombay. Street food comes to my mind very easily. It's my favorite food. So when will I get? So again, that is desire. So there is desire, and then desire is for something that you don't have. Okay. You can never have desire for something that you have. I've given you that. I can never desire a head. I can maybe desire a beautiful face because I think that I'm not beautiful. So I desire a beautiful face. But head I have. Not brains maybe, but the physical head I have. So I cannot desire a head. What you have, you will not desire. What you don't have, you have the desire for that. You don't have health, you have a desire for good health. You don't have money, you have a desire for money. You don't have, whatever. So that way. Spraha is the longing to repeat. Spraha is different from desire. Kamana is there, kama or kamana, and then spraha. So nispraha, sarva kamebhyo. When you become desire free, automatically you will become ni is the prefix which is negative. No spraha. That is what nispraha means. Means this person is, once he becomes he doesn't have a desire for something that he does not have, and he does not long for something which he has already enjoyed. You cannot long for something which you have not enjoyed. Understand that, okay? If there is something, so already one desire got fulfilled. It was a very happy desire that you wanted that thing, and now you enjoyed that thing. Now what happens is that desire is fulfilled, but the spraha remains. Spraha remains. So in chapter 2, because some of you are new, but anyway, in chapter 2, Bhagavan said the sign of a realized master is nispraha. He does not long. When the desire gets fulfilled and comes to him, this is, I'm talking about realized master, sthita prajna, he will enjoy it. He will enjoy. That's why people can't tell, oh, he's a realized master and he's really enjoying his food, or he's really enjoying the movie, or Gurudev used to enjoy, Guruji used to enjoy, I mean, I'm sure he does now. Tennis, na? Guruji is very fond of tennis. Cricket. Gurudev was tennis and Guruji cricket. So I know these, these chick young people. Now they're Swamiji, some of them. So one of the brahmacharis told me Guruji was on his way to the airport, and we were minute to minute. We were that time there was no WhatsApp and all that. Now this is way back when. Now he's a Swamiji. Now he was a, I think wasn't even a brahmachari. Maybe it was a chick. We were watching because Guruji couldn't watch, because no phone, no internet that time, right? He was on the way to the airport. Hyderabad airport is like 40 kilometers from there. We were phoning him, Guruji, isne itna runs banaya, abhi ye hua, abhi ye out ho gaya. He himself told me, he said, we were on the phone with him constantly, telling him what was happening, right? So people think, oh, he's also enjoying, It is not, but that spraha is not there. If it comes out of destiny, whatever is coming to us is because of destiny. So some happy moments will also come. Happy will come, sad will come, both will come. Okay. So when the happy moments come, you enjoy. You enjoy. Bhagwan is not saying don't. It's like, oh, I'm a spiritual seeker. I should not enjoy this. It's not like that. It's not like that. Enjoy. Understand that it has come to you because of your destiny. Enjoy it and let go. That is the important part. This letting go doesn't happen. I enjoy and then I keep rebelling about it in my mind. And then what happens is, in the seat of meditation, all that thought is coming to your mind. If you let go in the seat of meditation, it will not come. Even if you're not meditating, letting go must come easily. Letting go of everything. So worrying, hatred, especially negative emotions, anger. So letting go is very, very important for a spiritual seeker. I may have been angry. Somebody may have hurt me. Somebody may have said something to me. I should let go. Even a happy moment, I should let go. Enjoy, let go. And moment to moment, that Jnani, they say, a realized master, lives from moment to moment. Every moment, whatever comes in that moment, he experiences. So that experience could be good or bad. That's why we say experiences. It is a bhoga. Bhoga is experience. Bhoga is neither good nor bad. It can be good, it can be bad. So that bhoga comes, he experiences, let's go. Experience, let go. Experience, let go, let go, let go. Except, of course, please remember the lecture that I'm talking. Otherwise, now you're going to say, she said let go. So now let me just let go of the leg. Doesn't work like that. Okay. Experiences in life. This is you're listening to Bhagavad Gita. Please don't let go of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Then that person, once he becomes nispraha and sarva kam, nispraha is afterwards. Sarva kama is first, means all the desires are gone from his mind. Because as long as there is any kind of desire in the mind, that spraha might come, that longing might come. So as spiritual seekers, yes, we have desires. So that's fine, not a problem. Okay, so you do whatever to fulfill that desire, keeping in mind that it may or may not be fulfilled. So whatever work you're doing, do it as a karma yoga. So when whatever comes as prasada buddhi, you accept, because it may come as per your choice, it may come as per not your choice, or it may some third thing only might happen. So whatever comes, you accept. If it is as per your choice, don't have spraha. Say, okay, my destiny has given me this, I enjoy and let go. Or if it is not as per your choice, let go that also. So that is how your mind will be free of clutter. That is what we're trying to do, is making it free of clutter. So in the seat of meditation, we can put it in the self. And free of clutter itself means putting it in the self. Right? I told you, it's like that movie that is going on. When the movie finishes, there's the white screen. Right? So same, the mind is the consciousness itself. When all these thoughts end, then this, or at least there is chitta vritti nirodha. So at least in that seat, when you're talking of seat of meditation, then at least in that seat, let go of all the thoughts. Even therefore in class also I say, take sannyas and come to class. Sannyas means renounce all your other worries for the moment. All right? Okay. Now, a metaphor is given in 19. Very beautiful metaphor. We'll see the metaphor. Yatha deepo nivastastho nengate sopama smrita yogino yata tasya yunjato yogamatmanah. As a lamp placed in a windless place does not flicker, is a simile used to describe the yogi of controlled mind practicing yoga in the self or absorbed in the yoga of the self. Yoga of the self here is referring to dhyana yoga or meditation yoga. Okay, so this is meditation. Now let's look at the simile. A lamp, this is an oil lamp. Okay, it is not candle or something. It is an oil lamp, or a ghee lamp also is okay. That lamp, if you see a traditional lamp from India, it'll have a receptacle. There is a receptacle in which to hold the oil. Then there is a wick, and then there is with the matchstick you light the wick. Generally, in this country, I have not seen, but in Sandipani, I know, because in India, all the fans are going on constantly. In Sandipani, each lamp had a glass covering. Tripti would have seen that, right? So we would light the lamp, and then we'll put that glass, like it's open on the top. It's not a cover, because otherwise you're cutting off oxygen, but it's an open glass tube that is, the lamp is placed in that thing. So it protected the flame from blowing off. Okay, it protected it from the fan. Now let us see what this is. So this is compared to the mind, the controlled mind of a yogi. It's not compared to our mind, because our mind is uncontrolled. It is running in every direction. The receptacle of that oil is the mind. Okay, how do you compare? Simile, right? So the receptacle is similar to the mind. The oil or the ghee, and oil is what? Sticky. It's viscose, it's sticky. It is compared to the love or devotion that the person has. See, oil is sticky, love also is sticky. When I love somebody, then I mentally I'm sticking, right? I think of that person or that object or that situation, whatever, right? So that's why that oil is compared to the love, because without the oil, the wick cannot be lit, right? Same way. So now stay with me. So the oil is compared to the love or devotion that the person has. The wick is the intellect. It is the intellect. And the match is the source of knowledge. Is the source of, you need a match to light it, right? And now it is being protected from the winds. It is the winds of desire. The mind, the controlled mind of a yogi is like a lamp. So there is the mind, which is the receptacle. In that receptacle of the mind, there is a tremendous love, tremendous devotion for the Ishta Devata, or the Aham Brahmasmi, or whatever that he has heard about the transcendental. This is not transactional. This is transcendental. Even a scientist is very focused, meditating, but the focus is outside. Okay, remember that this is focus is inside. Then the intellect now is lit up, means it knows the reasons for meditating, the reasons why this thing is so higher, why this thing is so important in my life, why should I even meditate, why should I get moksha. All these things he has heard, he knows. So that matchstick is the source of knowledge. So it can be the shastra, teacher, guru, whoever is telling, and the desires are now all calmed down, right? Because in the earlier verse we saw all the desires are gone and he has become nispraha. So there is no desire and there's no more longing. For whatever desires were fulfilled, there is no, because even that longing is going to create an agitation in your mind, right? Because you think, oh, when will it happen again? When will it happen again? Both ways it works. When sorrow comes, I hope it doesn't happen again. I hope it doesn't happen again. And when joy comes, I hope it happens again. I hope it happens again. So both ways there is agitation. So in a windless place, that is the mind of a yogi. That is how this mind is now kept like this. That's why this deeper example is given. Oil lamp is given. So just like the flame remains flickerless, it doesn't flicker, it doesn't go off that way. Now, one more thing about this flame you have to understand. See, you light a lamp and you look at the flame and you think, oh, it's the same flame. Is the 1 hour went by? It's the same flame. Is it really the same flame? It is not. It is not. Because you have to remember that every moment a new piece of wick is burning and a new drop of oil is fueling it, right? Otherwise, if it was the same flame, the oil would not have reduced only. Oil finishes, some you keep it burning, that's why we keep pouring oil. If you want to keep the lamp burning for over days, you have to keep pouring the oil. Also, you have to have a long wick because that wick is also burning down. So the flame, understand, is different from moment to moment. That is to be understood. The flame is different, but it's not flickering. Okay, now this mind, the flame is flickering, but the mind is not even for a high level yogi, a high level practitioner of meditation. That is samadhi. So dharana is where it is flickering. The mind is flickering. Dharana is the practice of keeping the mind at one place. Practice. So in practice, the more, how do you become an expert? By practice. Now, so first time you start, I've given you this example. You get your license. Are you an expert driver? No. Then you drive once, then you drive it second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, 10th, 100th time, then you go. So this in the practice mode, remember that the flame is a new flame each moment. Like that, the mind is also flickering. But once it reaches that stage of samadhi, there's absolutely no flickering. From dharana into dhyana also, when it goes, that dhyana can be maintained for a long period of time. Dhyana is savikalpa samadhi. What in Patanjali's yoga, if that words you were to use, it is vikalpa is thought. Vikalpa means with thought. But what is the thought? See, right now, thought is, oh, I want to do this, I want to go there. The thought is only one. I am Brahman. That's it. Vedantic meditation, that is the only thought. I am Brahman. And then in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, this I see, I am Brahman. What is the I still? It is the ego. See, when I say I'm speaking, who is speaking? Ego is. It's the ego. We need ego to speak. We need ego to do any action. Now, I'm not going to go into details of that. Most of you have heard it. If there's any questions, you can ask me next time. So this ego is saying, I am Brahman. At least now the ego recognizes that I'm not the body, but I'm Brahman. So it's a very advanced ego. Very purified ego it is. Because right now my ego thinks I'm body, mind, intellect. Right now, that is what I'm thinking. Ego is identification with one thing or the other. So when I'm thinking that I am the body, mind, and intellect, it is ego. But the same ego, when it starts thinking I am Brahman, it has now become introverted. So when it keeps itself at that thought, this ego drops and what remains is only Brahman. So that oneness is attained. That is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And that we will be talking about again more. But this is what it is. Okay. So, and that time, then this flame example at the stage of samadhi, then we cannot see all examples that Vedanta gives us. They are limited because they are in the transactional world. We're talking transcendental. There is no example that will actually match Brahman, because that's why they say Brahman is comparison-less. You cannot, there's nothing else to compare. So we give examples to get a little bit of clarity, but it never can be a perfect example. That's why I'm telling you about the flame. I didn't have to mention it. If I don't mention it, you won't, but we do. For clarity, we need that. So understand that the flame is not the same, but when the person reaches that level of samadhi, then that mind is not like a flame. It is not every moment to moment. It is, because Brahman is not different from moment to moment to moment. Brahman is exactly the same ages ago and will remain same ages afterwards also. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्ति भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ हरि ओम everybody